Hello, boys and girls. So I am Miss Ruhl, and I am going to be reading Larry Gets Lost in Boston. Now, I see some alliteration in the title right there. Larry Gets Lost. So there's some L's in the title. And I'm going to read this story to you today because it's all about a dog, and I love dogs, so it's all about a dog who gets lost in Boston. Now, it's a little scary for the dog, but then he sees all these wonderful things in Boston because Boston is a very historical place in Massachusetts, and there are so many wonderful things to see in Boston. So you're going to hear about how Larry sees all these awesome things on his adventure, and then at the end we will see what happens. Alrighty, so let's begin. This is Larry. This is Pete. So Larry is a dog and Pete is a boy. They're bundled together in the back seat. They went into a tunnel, then out the other side. What adventure awaits at the end of this ride? Larry wondered, what will we see in this place? More important, he thought, how does the food taste? Out the window, Larry smelled salty sea air. The breeze carried hints of seafood somewhere. A bridge that seemed made of gigantic guitar strings was just one of the city's more spectacular things. All done with the car, they decided to park it. With Larry on his leash, they headed to Quincy Market. Inside a building with a round copper top, they found all kinds of restaurants and places to shop. Now, Quincy Market is a market that was built in the 1820s. While the family read menus to find something to eat, Larry's dog tummy growled. Then he spotted a treat. Someone had dropped it, but a dog doesn't care. After eating what he'd found, he realized Pete wasn't there. He had to get looking, but where should he start? Larry made mistakes, but he was really quite smart. In the ground he saw bricks, in a line end to end. Could this be a trail that would lead to his friend? Larry's lost. He needs to find Pete. Excited to find Pete, Larry kept to his search. He passed a red brick building and an old-fashioned church. At the end of the line, Larry saw mostly green as he entered a wide-open park kind of scene. Here it says 1634, Boston Common. So that is many, many years ago. Meanwhile, Pete saw buildings from a long ago year, like a house once lived by a man named Revere. What he really wanted to see was his dog's friendly face, so they had to keep looking in some other place. They called Larry's name and listened for his bark. So Pete is looking for his dog Larry. While Larry explored that big grassy park, he asked ducklings for help. They ignored his dog words, so he crossed a lagoon filled with boats shaped like birds. Larry went down a staircase and under the street. He saw all kinds of people, just not his friend Pete. Red lines, orange lines, what did they mean? Larry hopped on a train that was painted bright green. Larry's on a train. A baseball stadium seemed huge to lost little Larry. He faced a green monster, but it wasn't so scary. He then ran by a river and heard musical notes, while people rowed quickly in long, skinny boats. On a bridge that looked like salt and pepper shakers, Larry barked for assistance, but there weren't any takers. From the bridge he saw buildings, some old and some new. The biggest one reflected the others in blue. At his next stop, a big dinosaur was standing guard, but getting past him wasn't all that hard. On another bridge, not too far away, Pete wished Larry could see all his discoveries that day. On a bridge not too far away. Inside the museum, Larry saw lightning. It was bright and loud and a little frightening. Just when Larry's hopes were starting to fade, a college student came to his aid. He picked Larry up and checked his dog collar. What luck, thought Larry, as he licked the young scholar. They didn't see Larry on an old sailing ship. Pete wished his pal could share in the fun of this trip. While Pete was feeling sad, he heard a beeping sound. It was Dad's phone. Larry had been found. They arranged to meet at a famous place. Pete could hardly wait to see Larry's face. They drove up a hill to the end of the street, where Larry jumped up and landed on Pete. Aww. They slept as the car drove slowly away. It had been a very adventurous day. Aww. And they meet again. The end. Alrighty guys, so I hope that you enjoyed Larry Gets Lost in Boston. I know I definitely do. I bought this book while I was in Boston, so it means a lot to me. I hope that you guys find an entertaining book to read. Bye!